Hey Southwest, this is Miss West, and I teach 8th grade math at Southwest Junior High, and I will be going over AMI Day 32 with you. Today is focusing on my home community, how we're spending time with our family. So for today's assignment, we're to collect some data on how you and your family are spending your time during the quarantine and how you spend your time before the quarantine. How much time did you spend on different tasks, like eating meals together, watching TV, playing outside, exercising, playing games, etc. Display your data with two different data displays, one with data showing your time spent with quarantine, before quarantine, and one with data showing your time spent since quarantine started. You could also combine them into a single graph showing the difference. You can create a bar graph, or it suggests that you create a bar graph. If you're able to create your own graph using a digital resource, go for it. If you're not good with computers, don't worry. You may create a bar graph on paper. When you create your bar graph, either on paper or on the computer, please take a picture and share with your core teachers, and be sure to label the picture Day 32 graphs. Then it has a note about if you don't know how to use technology to do it, don't worry about it, just do it on paper. But I'm going to show you how to do that. It's super easy. So when you're in your Google Docs, so click on these 9 and you go to Sheets. You will see where you can create a spreadsheet. And so you click on blank, and I created one already. And I went through the suggestions they give us, like eating with your family, the outdoors, games. And so I skipped the line at first, skipped the first box, and then put in sleep, eat, schoolwork, Netflix, enjoy the outdoors, video games, school sports. Those are some things that we have done since being out for the quarantine, before quarantine started, and during quarantine. I just went and kind of thought of some things. What is my everyday activities look like in a day? And then I'm going to go up here and title it. That's why I left the blanks and there's nothing here. And like, this is going to be my column before quarantine. And then this one's going to be during quarantine. So I did per hour. It's like I used to sleep 7 hours before because I would stay up late working and then get up early. And then maybe now you get to sleep later because you don't have to get up as early in the morning. So those are some ideas. Maybe sleeping. Eating, sorry. When you eat, we didn't do much at home, right? So you maybe ate, now you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It doesn't take you very long. And now you can eat more often. So maybe 2 hours maybe during quarantine eating. Schoolwork used to take us 8 hours during the day because we were at school. And now maybe takes a couple hours. Maybe you watched Netflix before and it was only a couple hours because we had school during the day. And now that we're out, you can watch like 5 hours of Netflix. So those are just some ideas, like enjoying the outdoors, probably a little bit more than we used to be, video games more than I was doing, and then maybe school sports where you had to practice for 2 hours before, after school, and now there's no school sports. So those are just some ideas that you can use to show what you're doing during the quarantine and what you did before. And then we're going to make a graph with it. And it's super easy, and I'm going to show you what I've learned this past week about making your graph on Google spreadsheets. So you're going to highlight them all of where your information is at. Then we're going to insert a chart. You can also find it over here. There's a chart, look like a bar graph. Either one, you can click on that and it automatically makes you a chart. It's so easy and so nice. I wish I had this when I was in school, so I didn't have to do it on paper. And it does it all digitally for you. So there's all kinds of different ones you could use. They have pie charts, other things, but really the best one is a bar graph. And so there's different kinds of bar graphs, but I kind of like the ones that are side by side each other. So I can see that sleep was like 7 hours before, and then after it went up to 10. So super cool that it just makes it automatically for me. It's so easy. And some things that you could probably do to customize it. You can go over here and change the background color if you want. Say you want it to be a bright yellow, or maybe it's a subtler tone. It could be Southwest colors of orange. And then, go through and change just things to make it more you. I like the 3D feature so you can kind of see the 3D axis and chart. Again, you can just go through, change this up. I think I would really like for my title to have hours in it because it's the hours of activity, so we know what these numbers mean on the side. So I think I can go in there and put, yeah. So back up to the title. I want to name it hours of activities. Kind of hard to write in a little small box. I'm going to write it over here. Yeah, I can see it a little better. Click over here in that activities. Hours of activities before quarantine and during quarantine. Okay, well, I noticed I spelled something wrong. Let's fix that as well. Okay, there we go. So that's pretty cool. Some things you can do. You always want to edit some things and make it your own, kind of have some fun with making your chart, or just make it super simple and make it the way it is. It's already there and you're done and you want to go back to watching your Netflix. I understand. Just some cool things I noticed here. If you wanted to actually have some grid lines to kind of show where you can see the dimensions there, and you can change the grid lines to some colors to kind of see those other lines in there. So and one other thing, if you go to Legend, that was really neat to actually put in, well, I think it was in Legend. So you can put the legend at the bottom where like before and during quarantine, so we know what the different colors mean. There was one other, data labels. That's what I'm looking at. So with series, I would like to go put in like what exactly my numbers were so you can read it on the chart. But I thought this was going to be helpful so I can look back at it and see what the different data shows on there. That school starts before quarantine. I was doing 2 hours a day, but now I'm not doing any because we can't. So I thought that's very helpful. And then one way to share it with your teacher, you can always copy the chart and then go to your email and go to compose and then type in your teacher's names. So you can put all your four core teachers like Zarden and Perkins and I'm trying to think of another teacher, but you have 4 teachers you can put in there, and then you can Control V and it pastes it in there. And you have your data chart, your bar graph to share with your other teachers, and then you label it. Today is AMI Day 31 bar graph. That's one way you can do it. That's actually day 32. Okay, and then, or you can go into your spreadsheet and share from there and go that way and title your spreadsheet, the title of your, so that's another way to go in and put your teacher's emails in and just share what you've done on this paper. But keep in mind when you make this chart that this is something that you're going to put into your in presentation, so that when we are done with this week and next week, everything that we're doing, we're going to make a slideshow or some kind of presentation that you can share with somebody about what you've learned from quarantine, what you've done in quarantine, just to kind of help like a memory keeper of what you've done and something just to kind of share with other people. So I hope this helps, and I hope you have a great day, Southwest.